All right, Rick. Lots of teams are on bye weeks this week, so there are not a lot of great games. But we managed to dig deep. We found some good games to talk about. So let's talk about Thursday night first. We got Westwood going to Pflugerville. Who do you like in this game?
Well, first of all, I like Pflugerville. I think they have more players, more athletes. But Westwood sure gave Stony Point a good game last week, so this game's going to be a lot closer than I thought. I just think Pflugerville has too many running backs, too many weapons. They're going to win by 7.
Westwood, they have a couple weapons. Grant Peterson's a very nice receiver for them. Their quarterback is developing into a very nice quarterback. But as like Pflugerville, hopefully they figured out what's been wrong with their defense, because their defense has been their issue. Their issue has not been their offense. Their offense is fine. Sammy Flowers is like the third guy in that offense, and he is developing into a very nice player to complement Julian Ward and Storm Woods. So I like Pflugerville, a little bit too much firepower, but I'm also expecting kind of a high-scoring game on Thursday night. So if you can make it out to Pflugerville or watch KBBO, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Let's go to Friday night. We got Manor, we got Hutto. Manor's 4-1, Hutto's 5-0. We might not have been thinking about these two teams contending for that district title, but who do you like for this game?
I like Hutto. They're undefeated. They had a coaching change, as did Manor, and both teams have responded well. Manor, they've surprised me with Sad Jackson as their coach, but I think the difference, I think Hutto's defense a little bit stronger. They have a DB by the name of Alondre Thorne. He's already had 2 runbacks for touchdowns this year. He is a big game player. I like Hutto in a close game.
Alondre has committed to the University of Texas down in San Antonio, so he's a future road runner. I'm going to go with Manor. I don't know what it is about the Mustangs, but they seem to win all these close games. I'm sure a lot closer than Coach Jackson likes. But I saw them last week. I really like the way they played against Elgin. So L.D. Williams, expect to see him involved a lot in offense, whether it's throwing the ball, running the ball, or catching the ball. Reginald Middleton's a very fine quarterback for them. So I see them winning another close game. But once again, that's a game to catch, because if we know anything about Manor, they like some drama at their games. We're going to go Thorndale-Rogers, a Class 2A game. Both teams are undefeated so far this season. Who's going to get their first loss?
I think Thorndale's going to get their first loss. Rogers, you talk about teams that fly under the radar. I really didn't know much about Rogers until I looked them up, and I saw they beat Mart, and Mart is a big heavyweight in 2A in the state. And last week they beat Franklin, supposedly another big deal there, 41-14. I like Mart. Too much offense. Cody Weir, that's a quarterback that not a lot of us know about, but he's outstanding. I just see they have too much firepower for Thorndale.
I think I'm actually going to this game on Friday night, so I'm not looking forward to it. But it's at Rogers, and I hope the Rogers fans let me in, because I'm actually going to pick Thorndale in this game. Thorndale moved up from Class 1A this past realignment. I like what they've done so far this season, and Joshua is a game breaker on offense and defense. So I expect to see him get the ball, score a couple long touchdowns, and maybe make an interception or 2 on defense. So
Paxton Jordan's been playing really well at QB.
Not a bad quarterback, and he plays baseball too, which, Rogers, actually 5 of the kids on the Rogers football team played on that state championship last year. So
they're good athletes.
Lots of multi-sport athletes at that game. Last game, it's our game of the week. Cedar Park, Vista Ridge, both teams are undefeated. Who's staying undefeated?
Cedar Park's going to stay undefeated. Well, we're not surprised that Cedar Park is one of the best teams in town. We picked them in the top 5 before it all started. And this past week they held Vandergrift to 3 first downs in the entire game. 3 first downs and 30 yards. You got to give Rodney Vincent a lot of credit for what he's done at Vista Ridge in his 2nd year. To be undefeated at this point is a big accomplishment, but Cedar Park is just too big, too rough on both sides of the football. Yeah,
this game is probably going to be a defensive showdown. Cedar Park hasn't allowed a touchdown in the last 3 games. Vista Ridge has only allowed 1 player to rush for more than 100 yards this season, and they've played Michael Sorrells and Kenny Williams. So both defenses are good. I think Cedar Park's defense is just a little bit better, so I expect Cedar Park to win this game probably 21-3, 21-10. So Vista Ridge, they shouldn't be too sad by a loss, because they have had a great season so far, but we expect to see Cedar Park remain undefeated. As always, those are our picks. Be sure to check back in the newspaper on Saturday to see how good or bad we did, and once again, check in with us next week.